Most people are constantly thinking about how they can change habits, how they can be stronger, more resilient, and get some more mental toughness. When people give you advice on this, there is something that most people miss out, and it is absolutely vital. And that's energy levels. In order for you to be strong, in order for you to break a habit, in order for you to develop mental toughness, you need energy. So let me give you an example. If you've decided you're going to eat more healthily, you're maybe not going to have a drink this evening after maybe you've had a period where you've been drinking a little bit more, and you go to the fridge and you want to break that habit, but you're tired, you are much more likely to open that fridge and go, I just want some cheese. Oh, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. Oh, what about that cream cake? There's an energy required. So I want you to imagine that you have a bucket, okay? Everybody has an energy bucket. I mean, not really, metaphorically, we've got an energy bucket somewhere in our body. Now, everybody has a different sized energy bucket. Some people are full of energy, they're full on all of the time, and some people have a little bit less. The idea is, picture that energy bucket. We need to keep it topped up. We need to keep it full. Now, during the course of time, our energy bucket gets holes in. Every bucket gets holes in. So what I tend to do when I'm looking at this is I draw a picture of a bucket on a piece of paper. Well, all right, then it's a kind of a rectangle with a thinner part at the bottom. And I draw that. And then at a time when I'm feeling really tired, I start to draw holes in the bucket. So some of the holes are smaller, some of them are larger. And then I label them. I label them and I go, what things are draining me of energy at the moment? So for instance, you might have a temporary hole in your bucket. So when I'm injured and I'm unable to go to the gym and do any exercise, I might have a hole, and it might be a big one. It might be quite painful, or it might just be a niggle. So I draw that hole and I label it, knee injury or feeling a bit chesty at the moment. And that's one of the holes. It might be, hate to say it, might be somebody you work with who's just a bit of a negative drain and constantly nagging at you. Or I used to find particular meetings drained me of energy, because they required a lot of focus for me, and I'm not always good at that particular thing. So again, I would label these things. And then I would look at those and go, well, is that a temporary thing or is it a permanent? So for instance, if you're caring for an elderly relative, you kind of want that to be sort of permanent. You don't want that to be temporary unless you're caring for them and they're going to get better. So the idea might be some of these things we have to get used to. So there's two ways to keep our energy levels topped up in our energy bucket. One, of course, and this is sort of common sense, isn't it? One is to keep the bucket under the tap and keep filling it up. So the next list we want to do is, and again, when I've drawn my energy bucket, I draw some little arrows at the top, or even something that might look like a bit like a tap. And I think about people and things that give me energy. There's things we all do that energize us, and there's people we mix with who are energizers. I've got particular friends who, when I get together with them, we just have such a laugh, and they're so good to be around. They are energy givers. I know we've all got friends who are energy sappers, even if we love them, okay? But those energies, and I'll bet you when you've spent some time with those energy givers, at the end of an evening, you'll probably say, do you know what, we should do this more often. I cannot believe we don't do this more often. So we have our energy givers. There's also certain jobs we do that are energy givers or are energy neutralizers. It gives us a chance to get our head around stuff. So going into the office and doing some photocopying, it doesn't take a lot of energy to do it. Maybe it's a little bit of an easy job. So we just do it. Ka-ching, 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 that's okay. So what sort of things give us energy? So we put those things in for the top of the energy bucket. And then we actually look at the holes in the energy bucket and we say, how can we plug those holes? And there's two different ways of plugging those holes. One might be to say no to somebody. Maybe you've got a friend who's currently coming round a lot, and you just have to say no at that moment. So I just haven't got the energy for it. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit down or what have you. So saying no might be one of the things. The permanent stuff, like maybe a knee injury or caring for somebody, sometimes there's an acceptance which can help. Sometimes it's about changing what's going on in our head, the way we view it. If we're constantly saying, woe is me about these things, then of course that can be an energy drain. Sometimes it's about just changing our perspective. So look at your self-talk and see if there's a way you can minimize the energy drain. Now, I realise that there's a lot of things going on in this video, so you'll have to take it bit by bit. The main thing is be aware of your energy bucket and keep it topped up.